All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my custom RPGs, custom D&D games actually, set in my weird, messed up custom world that I'm made, and the people below me, and what we call D&D Cat, which is an owlbear in front of a heart, are the people that will be playing today, because I don't have an overlay set up right now for 3 players. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all having fun. I just realized I want to make you a little bugger. There we go. Real-time editing. So we've been on a hiatus for a little bit. We have unfortunately lost another member of the cast. Not to anything bad, just like they have an actual life. And for some bizarre reason, they decided having dealing with stuff in the real world is more important than my make-believe fantasy. It's weird, I know. So yes, we are down to 3, but that may change very soon. Quick reminders about this stuff going on. My YouTube channel, I did not get an episode out today, but it'll be out tomorrow. I'm doing a D&D deep dive on Matt Mercer's Lingering Soul class, which is a really weird class that's basically made for so that you could take a character that died in your campaign and bring them back as a ghost effectively. It's the weirdest class in the world, but it's super interesting and fun. So I've been having fun with that. And then, next week, Tal'Dorei Reborn launches. So I'll be having a review of that. And then there's supposedly some new subclasses in it, and they revise the subclasses in the original Tal'Dorei book, which is good because some of them badly needed some revisions. So, yay! So check out my YouTube channel for that. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. Also, all the videos of these are there as well. Otherwise, is there anything fancy happening with you guys?
No.
Vala
No.
has a cool new background. Isn't it cool, guys? I think it's about time for us to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. The party has decided to start their attempt to weaken the Dark Lord by going back to the town of Ilmorn, the town where Vala was formerly in cooperation with the mayor of the town and would inform on the various rebels attempting to overthrow him. Upon return, they found the town very different from the last time that they were there. The town itself was locked under guard, and they met a strange freedom fighter group who had the bold idea to blow up a tavern full of patrons in order to distract guards so that they could head to the mayor's mansion. Vala was able to talk them out of all the senseless to death. Sure, now my overlay's working. Sorry. The party decided that they had 2 goals they needed to accomplish. One, to go beneath the former residence of Vala, and find a prisoner held there, and the other to make as big a scene as possible to distract any guards. When we last saw the group, Vala and Henri had set a street on fire, while Liliane and Argenta had walked in the middle of a torture session. And that is where we find them. So, really quickly, I was having issues with my overlay previously, so hold please for just a moment, because the overlay seems to be working now, and I'm going to try and get it to work the way I will want it to. No, it still says, screw you. Okay, that's fine. If anyone is watching this and looks at the D&D Beyond overlay, it won't let me change my campaigns for some odd reason, so the wrong characters are up there. Back to this. So, here we go. Get some battle sounds in there. So, Vala. When last we left you, you had become death incarnate, to be blunt. You had started setting things on fire and were walking through them. And Henri had become Sephiroth and was walking through the fire unhindered. As more and more guards start showing up, and you see the fires catching to the various buildings near on the sides of this street and everything. What do you want to do? You can see guards are starting to come towards you.
So I believe when last we were playing, I had actually cast Fly on myself.
Yes.
And was flying over them, hurling the occasional, what is it? I think Sacred Flame, maybe, at various guards and things, or between Sacred Flame and Firebolt, lighting things on fire, lighting guards on fire, things like that. I would like to attempt to land near a group of them.
Okay.
And in a place where there is not as much fire in front of me.
Okay.
And I'm going to drop Fly, and I'm going to cast Fear.
All right. I should probably get my dice out. What do I roll for fear? Is it a wisdom save?
They must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
DC?
DC is 18.
And how large an area is it?
It is a 30-foot cone.
Cool. So, as you kind of come down, you can see a large group of about half a dozen Guga guards that you land in front of, and they have ready weapons and things like that. For the most part, they don't seem that impressed with what you do, with what you have done thus far, which is a little bit surprising, seeing as you have just set fire to a street.
Right.
They just seem more excited about the idea of taking you down. And so as you come down and they start recognizing who you are, they hesitate for just the briefest moment. But one in the front, who's wielding a shield and has a rather kind of wicked-looking flail, which instead of like a ball and chain, it actually has a number of what effectively look like meat hooks, 3 chains with meat hooks on the end of them. Kind of turns towards you and starts whipping it up and gets ready to do it right as you come forward, and you cast the spell, and you see this kind of shock wave of fear energy fly from you. of the guards in front of you, let's call it 8 since that makes it an even number. Uh, 4 of them immediately, their faces drain of color. You can see them become immediately terrified. Some of them start shifting as well. They start moving back away. However, half of them seem to get it for just a brief instance, but then kind of shake it off, including the one with effectively the Scourge, would be the name of the weapon. And he runs forward to try and thrash you with it. Does... God, math is hard. 21 hit your armor class?
Um. That will. I. Yeah, my AC. With my I have a Warlock Pact that lets me cast Mage Armor,
Mm-hmm.
kind of at will.
Mhm.
So with that up,
Not
my
kind of,
armor
always
is
at will.
17.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you sit there and you feel these hooks kind of dig into your flesh and kind of rip things out. You take a grand total of 16 points of piercing damage as it goes and just kind of rips you off.
Okay. For the record, I think I also have Disguise Self up to have myself back in uniform and looking how I do.
Is
So
Disguise
even
Self concentration? Because I believe Fear is also... well, I know Fly is a concentration spell. So I think as soon as you cast Fly, the Disguise Self would have gone away. Because I believe it's Giga concentration.
you are probably correct. I'm just trying to find it where I have it. Yeah. You can cast it without using a spell slot. I don't know that Disguise Self is. I'm not. Where would I see that at?
It would say under duration, it would say concentration if it was.
Duration is 1 hour.
If there's no concentration or C there, then it is not a concentration spell.
So I was going
So,
to say,
yeah.
even though it rips the chunk out, like the chunk of flesh flies off, and there's like blood dripping through the illusion, but I still look pristine and clean.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so, yeah, and he sits there and he kind of, as he sees that, and he sees that his scourge is definitely bloodied and has bits on it. He's very much concerned about this. The other ones don't have quite as scary as weapons. Just a couple swords, and one has a spear. 3 attacks from the remaining 3 are going to be an 18.
That'll hit.
A lot lower and a lot higher. So 2 hits. For the first one, does 10 points of damage. Second does 11 points of damage. And I believe Fear is a concentration spell, correct?
Fear is concentration.
So I'm going to need 3 concentration checks.
First one's a 22. Second one is a 20. Ooh, the third one is 6.
So, the other 4 guards do spend their turn running as far away from you as they can, but shortly after that, you watch them stop and kind of turn towards you again. Without getting this too bogged down in combat, how would you like to deal narratively? How would you like to deal with these people, and as opposed to just going round by round by round? Just kind of describe what you want to do. I'll have you roll something for it, and depending on how well you roll, we will move forward.
So, I think I would trying to see if I have I would probably pull out my flame blade.
Okay.
and start attacking them with that. And I would also, I don't know if I can do this, but use the cantrip Green Blade or Green. I think it's like Green Flame Blade. Yeah, Green Flame Blade. So as I hit one with my Flame Blade, another blade comes out and attacks another one.
With specifically with Flame Blade, in order to use it, it actually has a special action that you take to make a spell attack with it, whereas Green Flame Blade also requires an action. Is how
Got
it
it.
would normally work, because this is narrative. Yeah, let's say that you basically are dual wielding a red flame and a green flame blade as you're kind of going through. In order to do that, though, I am going to need you to make a spell attack roll.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, because you're trying to kind of do the dual wielding thing, go ahead and make that with disadvantage.
Oh, that 19 was gonna be so awesome. 14.
Okay. So as you sit there and you basically dual wield your fire swords, you're going through and you're attacking. You take a lot more hits than you intended, but you are able to kind of wade through this sea of people, taking a grand total of 8, 13, 19, 27, 34 points of damage from the people as you kind of get through that. And the next few waves as you kind of just going full Anakin Skywalker. As you look back at Sephiroth coming through the flames, you watch as he's coming through. He pulls out his water whip and starts attacking people beside you. And suddenly, you watch him kind of stiffen up, and he looks up, and some strange winged humanoid creature flies overhead. And without saying a word to you, he flicks his whip at it and kind of attaches to it, and he's pulled off.
Oh, oh. Okay.
You see them kind of fighting in the sky as they fly away from this as a city.
Well, I guess this is more for me, and I'll just keep hacking away at them,
Okay.
trying to make my way to the front door of the estate.
So make your way downtown, walking fast, faces past.
Make my way downtown.
So, while that's all going on, Liliane and Nojigenta, you guys have traveled through the underground river that brings you to this secret prison / interrogation room, and you've walked in the middle of an interrogation of someone who had been speaking about the Dark Lady. You see the interrogator looks relatively grotesque. He is large, he's kind of bulbous, has a really gravelly voice, and when he sees you, he's like, today's gonna be fun. And with that, I'd like you guys to actually roll for initiative for me. Here. Liliane, what you got for me?
26.
That's slow. Argenta.
16.
16, not bad. So both of you are sitting there, and as you draw your weapons, you watch as this creature slowly starts to change. You can see him. He starts kind of adjusting the robes and things on him, and he starts to kind of rip them off. And you see his kind of bulbous, bare chest there. You watch as previously covered by the large robes he was wearing, you see a second kind of face protruding from his neck. And you watch as he pulls a meat hook on a chain off the wall, and just goes, "Let's get down to business." Lillian, you are much faster than this creature. Why don't we start with you?
So as I see a real beautiful as well by sword and as well was what my side to him and I raised it and then I just swing it at him.
Alright. So, Arteta, you watch as Lillian pulls her sword out. She nicks herself as she does. You watch as the blade erupts into bright, radiant energy. She goes to swing it at this strange abomination of a creature.
And that would be a 24 to hit.
Definitely hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Quick question for you. Your blade gives off light like a torch, right?
Yeah.
Cool. As you come forward with your shining blade, you watch him kind of recoil up a bit. And you actually watch, as the blade ignites, you watch as his skin seems to take the appearance of softened leather, as to before it just looked almost hard and armor-like before you drew your blade.
So it doesn't matter how much it weighs it.
Not as long as you're this close, no.
Alright, so 19 total.
Alright, so you cut your first cut into him and he kind of howls in pain. He looks really angry at you. You gonna take another attack?
Yeah. And that would be a 26.
Definitely hits it again. Go and roll the damage. Spinning around, Lillian brings the blade up a second time, cutting a different chunk of flesh from this creature.
22.
Is it 22?
Yeah.
Damn, you do a lot of the damage. Cool. Is that in your turn? You have anything?
Yeah.
All right, Argenta, you're slightly faster than this bulkozoid.
So Argenta's going to run up to him while she's faking like she's drawing her dagger.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment she gets in his face, she's going to teleport back 10 feet using her water shift from her cloak.
Ooh,
And
okay.
He needs to give me water transition. He needs to give me a strength saving throw.
Cool. What's the DC?
18.
He gets a 17.
Total or on his die?
Total. That's his total.
Okay, so he is restrained.
All right. So you watch as Argenta starts running forward. She grips the dagger underneath her cloak, and right as she gets close, you watch as she goes, and you see this burst of ice next to him that just washes over him. And you watch as the ice covers his skin and his arms and everything, and Argenta appears slightly further back.
And instead of having my knife in my hand, I have fury as I'm going to fire into him twice.
Okay. And then she pulls out the damn gun she wasn't supposed to get.
So it's going to be plus, I think it's plus 7, yeah. 23 to hit on the first bullet.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll the other bullet as well, just to get things going. He can survive one round.
Yeah.
Two, we're not quite sure yet. But
18 to hit.
18 misses well.
I'm just gonna do them in total.
Go ahead. That makes it easier on me.
17.
How much to the total did you do?
17 damage.
17?
Yeah.
All right. So as Argenta kind of appears in another cloud of freezing mist, she already has Fury out and cocked and just goes. Poof, poof. You see two kind of chunks of flesh go off, and yet he is still looking just as angry as he was before. He turns towards Liliane, and you watch as the damage from the attacks you can see is kind of radiating this little bit of energy, and you watch him kind of pick up one of the hooks and he kind of licks it a little bit, and you watch as the hook starts to glow with his deep red and black energy. He goes, "Mrrr," and he swings it towards you, Liliane. That's a nat 1. Ignore that first attack. He was just playing. Second one though. Does an 11 hit?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What if we just double his attack bonus? Because I rolled a 3. 1 and a 3. Just ignore him. He's like, "Vlah!" He's so angry. He sits there and he slashes at you, and you dodge very easily with how slow he is. Oh, and both those are supposed to be at disadvantage. They don't need disadvantage. One of them I can't roll any lower. Argenta, just remind me he's restrained.
Yeah, at the end of his turn, he can repeat the save.
Okay, cool. Good, because he actually has a decent strength score, and I rolled low. So he sits there and he does it, but the ice on him makes him just a little bit slow, and you kind of easily duck under, and he does it again, and he knocks torture implements off of the wall as he swings again. You could see his rage getting larger and larger, and he wastes his freaking turn. Yeah, and then he's going to make a strength save and actually make it this time. Or he's going to roll one number lower than the last time.
Oh no.
Liliane, do something. I'm going to let you guys know, according to D&D Beyond, this is a deadly encounter. Just want you guys aware of the fact. You're supposed to die.
You can't feel it, right?
Say that one more time.
You can't feel right, correct?
Well, you would have had to be within 5 feet in order to attack him with your sword, and he hasn't moved, and neither of you. So I believe you should be within 5 feet.
Oh, I saw this.
With Argenta,
Okay.
I assumed Argenta would have had, because you're not in a really big room, Argenta would have run to a place where it didn't hit you with the blast.
Yeah.
If we had a map, that would have been more clear, but
Yeah, yeah. So I will keep figuring
go for it.
that one.
You have advantage because he's restrained.
Oh, alright. I did it. 20.
Can we keep the nat 1? I was hoping this would be hard for you guys. I have to nerf that cape.
That would be 2 damage.
Okay.
And 17 to hit.
17 misses. So you come up with your first swing, you cut him in again. He again screams out loud. Your second swing, he brings up the meat hook and just bats the sword away to the point where you actually feel it in your shoulder slightly. Anything else you wanted to do with your
No, that would be me.
Okay, Argenta, you don't get a turn. Argenta, you lost your turn privileges.
I will I will use one attack to reload the 2 shots that I used.
Okay.
But the first shot out of the gun is going to be a hot shot, and then I'm going to shoot it.
Okay.
Does a... I don't think a 15 hits, does it?
It does not.
Yeah, okay. I missed.
So you sit there and you put one of your hot shots in. You sit there and aim at it, fire it off, and it goes just straight past. You can see the heat kind of slightly singe the skin as it goes past. It embeds itself in the wall behind.
All right. That'll be my turn.
Oh yeah, you don't have another attack because you reloaded. Cool. Now it's just things, and it's getting even more angry. He's gonna try attacking you again. That's a 2.
Oh no.
Well, for the disadvantage for that roll, I got a 10. So the first attack misses. That's a 5. And an 8. None of those numbers, it doesn't matter the attack bonus I have. None of those numbers are going to get me. Well, actually, I can't use the 8. I have to use the 5. But would a 16 have hit you?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, that buddy.
So, if it had gotten a decent roll, which isn't because it's still single digits on the die, it might have done something cool. Right now, it's just still blah, 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 blah.
And then he gets another save.
I better friggin' save out of it this time. Let's see if I can get, I haven't rolled a 4 yet. Let's just see if we can get that low number. No. It's double digits, but barely. And not high enough to actually meet your DC.
Oh no.
Lillian? You want maybe a magazine? You mind if he reads?
That would be a 23.
Definitely hits.
Alright.
You can go ahead and do both your attacks at once if you want. Just again for speed.
25.
Both of them hit. Go ahead and roll your the damage.
Oh. Yeah. So, 31 total between two attacks.
All right, so you again are slashing into this creature, and you just keep cutting deeper. Every time you cut into him, you can see that kind of residual glow get brighter and brighter, and you watch as his hook starts to glow even brighter and brighter. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Argenta.
So I'll drop Fury to the floor at this point and pull out my dagger as I go in to stab him.
Okay.
I'll rage. That's going to be a 24 to hit and a 24 to hit. Same number.
Both of those hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Celine, you watch as Argenta drops Fury to the ground, pulls her frozen, frosted dagger out, lets out this kind of blood-curdling scream as she leaps forward and starts plunging the dagger into the flesh of this monstrosity of a creature, doing
35 points of damage total.
As you sit there and you pull it out, you can see this kind of pus-like blood leaking out of it, where the blood itself is kind of a reddish yellow and has chunks in it, leaking out of this creature as it howls in pain. Due to the fact that attacking Lillian is apparently cursed, it's going to try its luck on Argenta.
No.
That's a 2. This is a metal die that I just bought for as a moving present to myself because I was very proud that I was able to move. Apparently thinks I'm still playing Cypher. So the first attack is just a big old whiff. It's gonna take another attack at Argenta, because why the hell not? Well, that's a 9. Let's see what the other one is. Oh, and that's a 13. So 17. So 17 hit you, Argenta?
Since I'm not wielding my shield, yes.
Ha! So as the meat hook goes, it embeds itself in your side. You take 16 points of piercing damage, and then as he rips it out, you feel this kind of pulse in your head where flashes of dismembered corpses kind of melting in their own bodily fluids kind of goes in front of your eyes, and you take an additional 19 points of psychic damage.
So 16 and 19?
Yeah, 16 and 19.
Okay.
So a grand total of 35.
Okay, so half on the piercing, but full on the psychic.
Yeah, Baru. All right. And I just realized it has advantage on attacks that I've been forgetting about. So it still couldn't have hit with any but one of the attack rolls I've made for it. But
And then it gets a save again.
oh yeah, let's see if it actually does something then this time. Hey, that's a 20. And as it does that, and it kind of rips the hook out of your flesh, you watch as the ice that has been weighing it down just kind of breaks off, and he uses the hook still covered in pieces of you to scrape off more of the ice. He just goes, "Now I'm truly angry." Liliang.
You still have advantage because now I'm raging next to him.
Oh, alright. What is that? And
You rolled too high.
shit.
What was the second one?
That would be 16, but I don't think that.
16 misses, but the first one does hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
And one thing I've been forgetting about is divine, but I can divine, but
Oh yeah, I really don't think you need it. I mean, who really? What paladin divine smites? I mean, come on.
oh, that is.
Math is hard, kids. Stay in sister school.
21 total.
21 total. Okay.
Yeah.
Starting to look rough.
And that would be my thing.
So again, Lillian cars into the creature, bring it up, and it again kind of bats away these. This is second attack. Seems to be getting more and more energy every time you hit it. Argenta, what do you want it to do?
So this time I'll just, because my hand is free, I point at him as I mark him with Planar Warrior.
Okay.
And again, I'm just going to try and stab into him.
Okay. So I'm going to say because you've been rolling so well, you have disadvantage for the rest of your life.
I'm going to reckless, so you know.
Go for it. Good. I could use some advantage.
He has advantage anyway, apparently, but 26 and the other one.
The other one.
23.
Both of those hit.
Okay, so Planar Warrior, I'm marking him as part of being the Ranger. So, seven. Uh, 28 damage total.
28 damage. All right, so Argenta gets close and starts attacking. As you cut into him more, you watch him go, "Rah!" And you see the kind of second head, kind of you plunge the dagger in near the second head and just kind of pull down, and you watch as it kind of leaps out slightly, and now has a full kind of neck, and the torso splits down the center, and you watch as two more arms sprout out. And it grabs another chain from the wall. And anything else you wanted to do with your turn?
Nope, that's it.
All right. It is now going to take 2 attacks against both of you. So, Lillian, you first.
Alright.
Well, that's a nat 20 on the first.
Oh.
Oh, this is very bad.
Oh no.
Well, the extra psychic damage only happens on its first attack. So because that was a crit, you are going to take a grand total of 24 piercing damage and 38 psychic damage.
Okay.
As he sits there and goes, "Rah!" and he plunges the meat hook into you, and it goes really deep, and then yanks out a huge lump of flesh. He spins it around to try and attack you again. And he gets another nat 20. However, this one is only going to be 29. Yes, 29 damage.
Well, that brings me down anyway.
Are you unconscious now?
Yeah.
Damn. It then turns to Argenta and is going to make 2 attacks against you. Well, no crit this time, but it did get a 27.
Yeah.
So you take 16 points of piercing damage,
Okay.
and then it gets another 27.
Yep.
So you take another 16 points of piercing damage. As this creature, which is now morphed and changed into an even more of an abomination, seems to be hell-bent on just destroying everything in front of it. And that ends its turn. Lillian, unfortunately, I need you to make me a death save.
Well,
All right, your first save. You can see Lillian is on the floor bleeding out from her incredibly deep wound, but she doesn't seem to be dead yet. Argenta, what would you like to do?
I look between Lillian and look at him, and just there's that look of rage again as I'm going to Reckless.
Okay.
Marking as with the warrior, etc. So, natural 20.
That misses.
The second roll's a 12.
Okay, the second one actually misses, but the first one hits.
So, $39 points of force damage.
Ooh, that's rough. All right, so as you sit there, you kind of plunge the dagger in. As you pull it out, you see this kind of burst of planar energy as you strike it. You see the creature is just getting almost blinded by its rage. Anything else you want to do?
Nope.
Okay. So it turns towards you, and you see it smile, this evil-looking smile. And it turns back towards Lillian. Wow, that was a great roll. Does a 17 hit you, Lillian? So he sits there and he plunges the hook into Lillian's forearm, and you watch as he starts to bleed out more, and it turns to you and goes, "Drop your weapons, or I finish him." you like to do, Argenta?
I mean, is it my turn or are they just waiting?
He's literally waiting. This, I would say, this is out of initiative. He's waiting to see what you do, and initiative will start back up depending on what you decide to do. So,
She's basically not dropping it. She's just gonna be looking to push him away.
so kind of, so just pushing him away, or putting yourself in between him and Lillian.
Putting herself between them, essentially.
Let's make a strength contest. How's that, sister?
All right. All right. Strength or athletics?
It would be strength athletics. So
Okay.
for this creature, that's the same.
Changes things for me.
This is not a really complex creature to run. I did that on purpose.
26.
26. So as you sit there and you see him bringing the hook up to deal the death blow to your friend, you kind of jump in the way and the hook embeds itself in your chest right above your collarbone. You feel your collarbone itself detach as he pulls it out. You succeed in not allowing Lillian to get hit, but you take an automatic hit from his weapon, so you take 16 points of piercing damage.
All right.
And he's got 2 more attacks that he's going to just wail on you with. So the first one's a 27.
Yep.
So that one, because it's an actual attack, is going to be 16 piercing and 19 psychic.
All right.
And then the last one is unfortunately a nat 20. There's all my good rolls, which turns into a 29 piercing.
All right.
And he is howling in rage. And he sits there and he kind of licks your blood off of the hook and grins.
I'm still conscious.
Yep. Lillian, I unfortunately need a death save from you. You have 2 fails because a melee attack within 5 feet when you're incapacitated is a crit.
No one.
Okay. So, Lillian, as you kind of look up and you see Argenta in front of you, taking the blow. Argenta, you kind of look down and you see Lillian kind of smile for a second, and then the light leaves her eyes as she collapses on the floor, no longer breathing.
All right. Well, Argenta's just gonna let out another battle cry, pull her hand axe from under her coat, and then just go in for 3 attacks.
Go for it.
All right, let's 24, 27.
There are numbers under 20. Like there's like 20 whole numbers underneath digit 20.
And 25.
Seriously, what are you rolling?
I'm rolling with advantage. I have plus
Oh.
8 to hit.
It's the damn advantage is what it is.
Yeah.
All 3 of those hit.
So no.
Can do anything else? You want a pony while you're at it?
44 points of damage.
I'm going to need you to claim your kill. Describe your victory.
So basically, stab once in the kidney, stab one head in the neck, and then normally a hand axe is wielded with one hand, but she brings it up with both and sinks it into the second head.
Okay. So, the creature itself winds back its meat hook for a killing blow on you, and it brings it down, and you watch as it's coming slower and slower, and you feel the hilt of your hand axe underneath, and so you flip it out, catch the hook, and bring the hook down and embed it into the ground. As you do, you spin around backwards, plunging the dagger into its kidney. As you pull it out, you rip, and you watch as more of this red and yellow chunky fluid starts flowing out of the wound. You flip around, bringing the dagger back and stabbing right underneath the jawline of the misshapen extra head of this creature, and you watch as the head hangs at an angle that is not possible for it to hang normally. And then you leave the dagger in there, bring your hand axe around and go and embed the hand axe in the skull of the creature, cleaving the skull in two. As you pull it out, the top of the skull kind of lulls over, and the whole creature falls backwards to the ground. The dust settles. Behind you is the corpse of Liliane, and in the chair is the mangled form of a man. It's hard to see a lot of his features due to the blood streaming down his face from various cuts and things like that. His lip is swollen, one of his eyes is swollen shut. You can see the other one, it looks like the socket itself has been broken because the cheek isn't in the right spot. They're there, both his eyes are black.
Is he breathing?
Heavily. You see him kind of get up, and you watch him work his tongue around his mouth. You're trying to figure out what it is he's trying to do, and then you realize and kind of just move out of the way a little bit as he just hawks up the little amount of spit that he can and spits on the corpse of the thing. I told you that the Dark Lady has a plan, and you can't stop it. And his head just kind of hangs down.
Are you a priest?
Someone could call me that.
I put my hand on his cheek where it looks mangled, and I cast a second level Cure Wounds.
You watch as the bone starts to knit together, and he takes a deep intake of breath. Are you a priest?
No, a warrior of the wilds, but she was, and she looks at Liliane again. Can you help?
You watch the blood drain from his face. Who's that?
Liliane?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Out the door. 3 doors. The third on the left. There's a bed. Underneath the bed is there's a plate on the bottom of the bed. Move it aside, and there is a symbol. It looks similar to a crescent moon with an extra bring it to me. Now!
Okay, she'll basically the only thing she does before that is grab Fury from the floor, and then she runs off.
You have no problem finding the room he talks about. It's a small little cell. You can see the chamber pot in the cell is full to overflowing, and the cell reeks. But very quickly you find what you recognize as a holy symbol of a dark lady.
And I'll bring it back.
Okay. As he sits there, you can see now a lot of the blood has been kind of washed from his face. His tears are just streaming by. He's sitting there going, no, this wasn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to be here. No. And he grabs the holy symbol. You see him start praying. The protection you've given me, whatever blessings have been brought up upon me, transfer them and heal her. I will do whatever you ask, please. And the world disappears for a moment. Suddenly, you and this man and Lillian's Cook a Corpse are in a circle of light. Beyond the 10-foot light, circle of the light, there's nothing but the darkness. This darkness is not like the cover of night or the warm embrace of a room before you shut your eyes to sleep. This darkness has weight. This darkness fluctuates like waves of the ocean outside, surrounding you, except for this small pillar of light. You hear a voice. Ooh. You hear a voice from outside. She has no power here. But I do. The man seems frozen. What will you give me? Do you want to do anything, Argentagenta?
What? Mm.
You broke up there.
No. I was talking to myself.
Okay. As you're thinking, the man goes, "You're not the Dark Lady. She has no power here. She used the last of her connection. I have power here." What do you give me for the life of this creature? You see the man falter. No, that can't be true. She has protected me. I've dedicated my life. She's the reason I am here. This is a trick. This isn't real. I don't accept this. Your acceptance is not necessary. Reality is rarely what you want it to be. Anything you'd like to do, Argentagenta?
Yeah, Argenta's just gonna kind of raise her vision after a moment and be like, "Oh, this spot opened up on my list, and whether I like it or not, I am a hunter of sorts. Give me a quarry or a task that you need doing in exchange for her life."
The darkness starts to intrude slightly into the circle of light. The circle of light seems to strain against it, and you see a form appear before you, vaguely humanoid in shape, but made entirely of the darkness. It comes closer to you, Argenta, walks around you like it's judging you. It reaches out, grabs your arm. You don't feel the pressure of flesh or anything on it, but everywhere it touches feels as cold as ice. You could be useful. But this one belongs to me. Single task. That's not worth a life like a torment eternally. You must offer more.
I'm a mercenary, so why not just keep giving me tasks?
Interesting. The creature starts to solidify from kind of this inky shadow into a more solid form. It holds a hand out. If you agree, every day you must cause the suffering of an innocent. For the rest of the time, you remain in my realm. Once a day, an innocent must suffer by your hand. In addition, I will present you with 3 tasks. You must do what I command 3 times, without question. Do we have an agreement?
As long as I'm in this realm.
As long as you exist in my realm.
She squints, looks down at the corpse again, and then shakes his hand.
As you shake the hand, your arm instantly erupts in pain. You feel your heart stop beating for a second. Your lungs seize. Your vision begins to tunnel. And then you're back in the room with the strange creature bleeding out in front of you. Liliane, as you lay there, you suddenly feel air fill your lungs. You watch as Liliane starts breathing again, sits up, and Liliane, before you can even acclimate yourself to where you are, you instantly feel all the air knocked out of your lungs as a pair of arms squeeze you tight. You feel dampness on your shoulder as a head is buried in it. the person suddenly realizes you're not breathing again and lets go and looks at you and goes, "Where did you come from?" And you look into the face that you have not seen in a very long time, your father. Vala,
Yes.
while all this is happening, you have been fighting on your own for the better part of half an hour now. Your arms feel like jello. Oh, very quickly, Liliane, you have 3 levels of exhaustion, which will go away as you take long rests, like normal exhaustion. But your arms feel like jelly at this point, and yet more guards just keep coming, and you don't know where they're coming from at this point. You were unaware that there were this many guards in this city, but they just seem to keep coming. And yet, the more you attack, the worse you feel, the less they actually hit you. At this point, you've gotten almost into a kata of sorts, where you're just swinging, and they seem to almost walk into your blades at this point. No one has hit you for the past 20 minutes at this point. But you start fearing how much longer this can go on. You have eventually gotten to the gates of the manor, which are wide open at this point. But you are still alone, unsure of where Henri has gone off to.
Are there any guards inside the manor?
From where you are right now, the guards that are coming after you are not coming out of the manor. They seem to be coming from other parts of this city.
Okay.
The manor itself, the doors of the manor itself, not the gates in front of it, the doors of the manor itself are still closed. And all of the windows, the shutters are closed as well. So you have no idea what's inside currently.
Okay. Can I shut and lock the gates?
You can certainly try. How do you want to do
that? I mean, I'm assuming the gates have a either a crossbar or some type of a locking mechanism.
Think of the gates like kind of gothic bar gates that open kind of like this.
Okay.
So they do have a locking mechanism on the center. Currently, they are open inwards towards the thing, and they're decent. Like they're about 10 feet high, and they're about 10 feet wide each. So the whole opening is about 20 feet wide. They are weighted so that a single person can push them open and closed. But currently, your action effectively every turn is taken up killing people. So my question to you is, how are you going to close it? Are you going to just walk over and try to close them? Are you going to use magic of some sort? Like, specifically, how are you going to close them?
I would like to, as I approach the gate, I'll kind of like look behind myself, and I will misty step
Okay.
behind, through the opening, and then use Eldritch Blast, since it uses those force damage to
Okay.
slam that.
I'm going to say using Eldritch Blast to do it. I'm going to have you roll a spell attack to do it. But if you're using Eldritch Blast, I'm going to say it has disadvantage, because it's going to be a little bit more difficult to use Eldritch Blast than some other spell to do it. So,
like Prestidigitation, which can slam doors.
yeah. So.
But this is going to look cooler.
It will. I'm just saying it's a little more difficult is all.
Oh God, that's cocked. Oh wait, I have disadvantage.
Disadvantage, unfortunately.
Oh, well. Okay, well, that would be 15.
15. Okay. Not a horrible roll. So as you kind of misty step back, all the guards just kind of look for a second, and then you just start casting your Eldritch Blasts, which I think at this point is 3 of them. And as you knock the Giga Gates close, 2 of them are able to get through and make some attacks against you. You take a total of 15 points of additional damage as you deal with them. But the gates themselves are closed, and your third Eldritch Blast kind of breaks the locking mechanism itself and effectively fuses it. So no one's going to be getting through that gate any time soon. You can see they're starting to come up with ways to either break the gate down or climb over it or something, but currently they're on the other side of the gate, and you are in front of the manor house that you have visited many times before.
Right. Prestidigitation can't amplify one's voice, can it? I don't think so.
I know that's something that you can do with the cleric version of it.
Okay.
I think with prestidigitation you can make sounds, but I don't think it specifically lists the ability to amplify your own voice.
Yeah. I can make faint musical notes. Then I will, after killing the 2 guards that made it through, or incapacitating them, I will just shout to them, "Bring me the mayor." And then I will attempt to walk into my house.
Your house is actually at a different part of this city.
Oh.
Was that where you were attempting to go?
That's where I was attempting to go.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. So the way that the city is set up, the mayor's house is technically on a hill, overlooking everything else. Your house is on a lower hill at a different place. It's about a 10-minute walk between the 2 places.
Right.
So with that knowledge, what changes do you want to make? Did you want to fight your way to your house then, or?
Oh wait. Because now I'm wondering if there's no guards around the mayor's house. I could burn down the mayor's house.
You would be aware there are some wards around the house itself that prevent things like arson and stuff like that. So you would have to get around those if you wanted to set that house on fire.
Prevent.
Yeah. It's just, for you, it's a roadblock more than anything, like a speed bump, but the speed bump exists, and you would be very aware of that. You probably, I would go as far as to say that you probably helped
create some of those?
Create and at least gave them
Test.
input on the design and where they should be to be most effective.
No, in my head I was thinking this whole thing was going towards my house, my manor house.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine.
Okay,
we can shift it over to the there. Your manor house would also have a gate, and similar things would have been said about yours, where guards weren't really coming out of your house, and you could have, you would have known your gate much better than the mayor's gate, anyways. So.
Okay.
So we can just say that the same thing happened, but you're in front of your house instead of the mayor's house.
Okay. So then I will, after telling them to bring me the mayor, I will attempt to go into my house.
Okay. The door is locked at first. Doesn't provide a problem for you. You know how to get into your own house.
Yeah. So I get in there.
Anywhere particular you want to go in your house?
So I want to go through. Is there anybody in the first floor?
Your house not only is deserted, but at this point looks almost ransacked when you come in. Things are all over the floor. Tapestries are torn. Like it has seen much better days. There's little bits of blood on the floor and on the walls in certain places. There's also this strange kind of reddish yellow chunky liquid that you see in some places that has a very putrid smell akin to like rotting meat.
So, I will, as I'm walking through the house, I'm just going to use create bonfire.
Okay. And start setting
I'm
things on fire.
setting a building on fire.
I'm gonna burn something. You don't want me to burn the... Fine, screw you. I'm gonna burn my own house.
But I am kind of keeping an eye out for anyone, specifically that butler.
Okay.
Who is a bit of a sniveling. I want to make. He's been on my list for a while.
Okay. Could you go ahead and make me an investigation check?
I would also like to check the kitchen for. I would like to end up in the kitchen, looking to see if they have any fresh baked pastries.
Okay.
Investigation is a 12, I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
So, no pastries that you can find. As you kind of wander through the house, setting your fires and things like that, you don't seem to find either your butler or a corpse resembling your butler anywhere.
Do I find other corpses?
You find pieces of corpses.
Delightful.
As you go through and you kind of keep a mental tally of the gruesomeness, you probably find the equivalent of about 6 or 7 corpses in like 24 different places. So whatever went through here and did damage also ripped things apart.
Okay. Well then, not finding anything of interest in here, and knowing that I have, am bringing all of the forces towards the house, as I summoned the mayor, I know the layout fairly well. I would like to dimension door down into the torture room.
Okay. So as you sit there and you concentrate on the dimension door spell, you watch as the house itself kind of fades away for a second, and suddenly you are surrounded. The first thing you notice is this just overwhelming stench of rotten flesh and just really unpleasant smells that gets in all the way down like your throat, like you can taste it almost, as you appear standing in a puddle of whatever this is. And you see Argenta kind of beaten and bruised. You see Liliane looking paler than she normally does, which is a feat in itself. And you see a man you've never... a man that seems somewhat familiar to you, kind of holding on to Liliane. And as he meets eyes with you, you watch as Argenta, really quick, you picked up Fury. Are you still holding the axe and the dagger, or have you stowed those?
Oh, I would have taken them out of the corpse at this point to clean them off.
Okay. I need you to make me a... let's call it a dexterity sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Yeah. 12.
12. So as you're sitting there kind of cleaning off, choose even or odd.
Even.
Okay. As you're cleaning off the hatchet and the dagger, before you can even react, the dagger is stolen from you as the man grips it and starts thrusting it towards Liliane. Or not Liliane, I'm sorry, Vala. He seems to have some sort of attachment to Liliane. It's weird. He starts going towards Vala, and I mean, that's That's not a great roll. 16.
Just misses.
Just misses. So the frozen dagger comes towards you, and instinctively you kind of step out of the way as this guy kind of swings, and he kind of brings it back for another attack. He goes, "Quickly! It's the High Inquisitor. Kill her!"
She's cool. She's not the High Inquisitor anymore.
Former
Father,
High Inquisitor,
Father,
now head of the Revolution.
You still wear your uniform.
Oh, this. I will drop the uniform, and you will see just cuts and blood.
In the name of the Dark Lady, I will end you for the crimes you've committed against these people.
As much as I deserve that.
Can you call him off?
As much as I deserve that. There's still some good I can do right now.
Yeah,
We need to leave.
I will, take it off of my head. I will put it in shoulder. She will have my prisoner here at you. See, we will brought you to supper. Yeah, 3 of us. And that was like the 100 separated. Yeah, she probably deserves to a little fight, but now is not the time, and I've known her a long time, and what me seeing as she ain't beating herself up and blowing up buttons. You want to.
You don't understand. I've been here. And he points a dagger at you again. What have you done to my daughter? To make her believe your lies.
When you said that I kind of recognized this person, is this because of the resemblance?
No, you
Leanne,
recognize
or
the person because you personally have tortured this person on multiple times. This particular person is the most resilient prisoner you've ever had. You would very regularly kind of give up and just put him back when a new person would come in, and then whenever you were in between jobs, it'd be like, oh, I can put some hours into Minecraft, and I've ignored my Farmville farm long enough. So yeah, you personally have tortured this person many times, and that's where you recognize them. But now that he says that, there's a very slight resemblance. You think Lillian probably takes more after her mother than her father,
right?
but you can definitely see the jawline specifically. You can see they share, as well as the nose. But everything else is very obviously must have been from her mother.
So I will just kind of put my hands down to my sides and just look at him and say, I deserve everything you think I do. I know when I started this, I thought maybe there was a way I could um, soften the blows to try to be part of the system and uh, when I started, I wanted to be part of the revolutions. I wanted to bring down these systems, but the people who were doing it, were trying, were reckless, like I was once. They were doing more harm than good. I had to make a choice, and there was no right answer. The lesser of two evils is still evil. I know that. And I will have to atone for what I've done. Believe me. When I meet the Dark Lady, if I ever meet her, I will have much to answer for. And I will suffer greatly. But before that day comes, there's maybe some light I can still shed on this world. Now we have to go. Now. And I will walk out of the room.
What direction do you walk out of the room? Back towards the Manor House or towards the Underground River?
Toward the underground river.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye out because I saw the two of them, Liliana and Argenta, but I did not see the others that were supposed to be with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they're either unconscious, hopefully, or dead. But I'm going to make my way towards the underground river, kind of keeping an eye out for them. And listening, hopefully I'm going to hear some footsteps behind me.
Okay. The rest of you notice that the dagger kind of trails Vala as she leaves the room. And after she's gone, he kind of drops, and he drops the dagger on the floor.
I'll immediately pick it up to sheath it.
Well, she is right. We need to get out of here. You watch him kneel down for a second. He grips his holy symbol, says a quick prayer. Yeah, let's. We have a lot of catching up to do, and I think the rest of you, unfortunately, why I'm here. Yeah, let's go. He's actually doing better than you are right now. He got to cure wounds. You're at level 3 exhaustion. So yeah, you guys get back to the boats where your two co-conspirators are waiting. They see one of them is the blood hunter that sees Lillian's father, and he's like, good. And he gets him in the boat. The other guy's like, why are we overthrowing the mayor? Why are we coming back? Is the mayor dead?
Not yet, but the night is early.
Great. Okay. You want to go back in and kill him now? Because if we go out like this, just leaves us outside the city. Like,
right.
There's 2 stops. It's like it goes here and then it goes outside the city.
We can't go back. I may have volleyed my own mansion.
See, you're using your name as a verb. That's not how names work. And you guys start seeing smoke coming through. And he kind of looks in, and you see the fire has now, because you just put tons of bonfires, the fire has spread. And he looks up and says, "Motherfucker! What is wrong with you? Damn it! I knew I shouldn't have gone with you. Set it fire to have to." And he just continues to complain as he gets in the boat.
Look, we take this outside. All the forces will be around my manor. I think we take a little bit of a breather, take a break, and then I go set fire to the mayor's manor.
He just keeps mumbling four little words at himself.
Thoughts? Anyone? I know there are protections around his house, but I helped design most of them, so... I don't know. I was hoping he will meet us outside the river. I may have set fire to a street.
I thought you were to him.
Yeah, no, he followed me, and then there was some winged creature flying through the night sky, and without a word, he just whipped onto it, and the two of them were fighting. I lost track of him as I was making my way through the army of guards.
It wasn't the same creature we saw at the church, was it?
I thought we saw a dragon at the church.
Oh,
Yeah,
Or was it the same creature?
it was a dragon at the church. This was a humanoid creature that also had wings.
uh,
So almost profile-wise, think angelic.
uh,
So he was fighting some sort of angel, demon. I didn't get a very good look. I just know it was humanoid with wings. Hopefully we'll see him soon.
yeah.
Who wants to set fire to the mayor's house? I mean, look, you have to lean into your strengths.
I like the fact that after all this happens, it's almost like, okay, somebody wants some McDonald's. When you're like, okay, you want to set fire to, everyone want to set fire to the mayor's house? We can have chicken nuggets.
Dun. I'm burning it.
Take inspiration for that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So as the fire effectively starts to engulf everything, is there anything else you guys want to do before you leave the manor house and effectively the city?
I am going to cast a third level Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Lillian, when you were resurrected, you were resurrected with 1 hit point.
Oh my, I was gonna ask you how that works.
Yeah.
Alright.
When the god of death no longer has any say in things, weird shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about that until we started doing the ritual, and I'm like, shit.
I will also cast a third level Cure Wounds. Actually, I'll cast 2 third level Cure Wounds on Liliane.
Right.
Cool. If you
So
wanna-
that's 16 hit points and 17 hit points.
You're feeling much better. Still exhausted, but much better. So with that, you guys are able to make your way down the river, back out to outside the city. As you come out of the city, you can see smoke rising in massive, massive clouds to the point where the night sky is now completely obscured in black, dark clouds. Because of this, generally at night outside of a room, it would be closer to dim light than it would be to pure darkness. You are effectively in pure darkness right now because absolutely no light whatsoever is coming from the night sky. So, do you guys want to try and make your way back to the hideout inside the city? Do you want to try camping outside this city and come back in tomorrow? What are your thoughts?
I'll kind of look at the others. It would probably be easier to sneak into the city right now while
Yeah,
they're still dealing with all that
probably.
chaos.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't that the whole point of that?
The reason I went full Vala was a distraction.
Yeah,
We should use this. Well, we still can.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Argenta, thoughts?
No, I think we should use it.
Okay. So you guys really have no issue getting back to the. However, when you get there, the first thing you notice, Vala specifically, is you get to the room and you feel a shove from behind you. Can't fucking believe what you did here. See, we had everything planned and you just set fire to a fucking building. And then the other blood hunter comes. We got what we came here for. No, that's not what I fucking came here for. I wanted to set fire to the bloody mansion up over there and take out the damn mayor, and this bollocks mother. Stay in here and think about what you did. And he goes out, slams the door, and you hear the bar kind of shut behind it.
Is this just me in the room?
It's all of you,
Oh.
including your blood hunter friend and Lillian's father.
I'm sorry all of you have had to suffer for my indiscretions again. And I will just go over into the corner and lie down.
And that, unfortunately, is where we're going to end it for tonight. As always, if you enjoyed this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/TrainerJody. You can catch the entire series there. Otherwise, I hope you guys all had a good time, and I will see you next time. All right? Bye-bye.